Hey everyone, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Alright, today we're going to cover this outdoor security camera. Now it has several kind of cool features that I like about it. One is that it is completely wire free, so it is wireless, so it uses your home's 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal to connect. And then also it comes included with a solar panel, so that means that you should never have to charge it up. So once you place it up there, that solar panel should keep that battery charged year round and you'll never have to take it down to recharge it. Now that of course means you do need sunlight, but if you have a place to put this that it gets sunlight, then you should be covered with this camera. So it's a 2K resolution, which is good quality for this camera. And the other thing is that it's really quite budget friendly. I've covered many other cameras, and some of them do get pretty pricey, especially if you go to battery powered and solar backup. Then they can get very, very pricey. Talking about hundreds of dollars for a single camera. This one I think typically ranges about $70. I've seen it on sale for $50 or even less sometimes. So very affordable. And then you can add many of these, and they'll all go to your same app. And it does allow local storage, so you do not have to get a subscription if you don't want to. It has a built-in SD card reader, so you place your own SD card in there and it will record to that. Then you can look at it on your phone, and we'll show that here in a minute. We'll also install this and we'll test it out. But then the other option is for a cloud service, so you can actually have both, maybe as like a backup for each other. And the cloud service is paid, but I think it's about $70 a year for up to 3 cameras. I think it's $100 a year for up to 5 cameras, and that records like something like 7 days of alarm recordings will be saved in that subscription plan for you indefinitely. So that is the high level summary, but let's open this up and see what comes in the box, and let's test it out outside. Alright, so in the box is the fairly standard stuff. You have your camera itself, of course. You can see it's a fairly small, compact unit there. It's got the 2 antennas that help it get better Wi-Fi signal. We'll see how that does. I do have several places that my cameras are kind of marginal on where they get a signal, and we'll see if this one does any better than that. And then it comes with a universal base here that has 4 screws to attach it, and then it has this feature where you tighten it down and that locks it into place. But it gives you a lot of flexibility because it can rotate, and then it can also pivot. So it should be able to give you an option to point this camera wherever you need, regardless of the surface that you're mounting it on, either underneath an eave or on a vertical wall. And they also include a little template here so that you can drill holes in there if you need to. And with that, they have screws that also have the anchors, so if you're going into masonry or concrete, you can put those anchors in to hold on to it. Other thing they give you here is a USB cable. This is to charge it up. So obviously the first time you probably want to make sure it's fully charged before you install it. To do that, you just open up this little silicone flap on the bottom of it. And you can see there's a USB-C port as well as a micro SD slot there, and then a reset button and a power button to turn this guy on. So you can charge it up before you bring it outside. But obviously first we're going to connect it to our phone app, and then once outside you'll see that this has a long cable here, again USB-C, that goes to the solar panel, and the solar panel has a similar type mount that gets screwed into the back of it, and then it has this pivot, so you obviously want to point this towards the sun. So for me up here in Michigan, I would point it south, and that would be to get the most sun exposure available to it. So you'll do that wherever it makes sense for you. And with the long cable, that means that if your camera is in a shaded spot, hopefully you can still position your solar panel in a place that does get the most amount of sun. You do want a couple hours of sun a day in order to be fully sure that your battery will never need to be recharged. Okay, so the instructions that come with it is basically says to download their app from the App Store or Google Play, and then to go in there and follow the instructions on the app to add a camera. There'll be a QR code to scan, so we'll follow that. Alright, so I just downloaded and opened up the Wansview app. This is the start screen that it does show me when I first open the app for the first time. And I'll probably go in here and make an account for myself. Okay, so just a quick warning, my verification code did get sent to my spam for my Gmail, so make sure if you do get a sign-up verification code, you check your spam. Alright, so now I'm signing in for the first time, and we can see that we can add a device here by showing the QR code from our tablet or your phone in that case, and this is a B4 camera. So let's click on that, and it tells me I need to go in here and press the power button. I've been having it plugged in just to charge it up. Let me press the power on, and the red light will light up. There it is, and now you'll hear a boot sound. So we'll go to the next. We need to enter a pairing mode. Let me go and unplug it so it's easier for me to press these buttons here. Press it for 3 seconds here. Okay. We can now let it use my location. No 2.4. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Okay, so I had it pick my 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal, and now we're just pointing the camera at the screen, and that will let it find the QR code.
Wi-Fi is connected. The pairing is successful. You can start using the camera now.
Okay, so that was much quicker than what it said. It said it took up to 2 minutes.
The pairing is successful. You can start using the camera now.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start my free 30-day trial and just see how that works. Okay, so here's the different options. The basic plan is a 7-day recording cycle, and then it looks like a, well, I guess they have some different versions here. They have a standard, an AI, and a plus continuous recording. So that's interesting. You can do a continuous recording of the 7 days, which is this is only for one device. But then they have the extended, which is up to 5 devices. This one does not give you the option there of that continuous recording, but you can get 15 days of the motion alarm recording out there. And then you can also share this with different people. So the Pro one now is up to 7 devices and a 30-day recording cycle, so that's a much longer recording cycle. You can share it with more people, but again, the price does increase there. So let's just go back here and see. So the standard one is just motion recording, $70. To get the artificial intelligence, it basically over doubles the price to $130. Alright, so let me just try this AI version, and I'm going to do the monthly, and we'll just see how it does. Okay, so I did have to put in my credit card information to start that trial, so I know that dissuades some people, but for me it was worth it to give it a shot and see how well this performs. And then you can always cancel, of course, before your trial is up. Alright, so this is where I need to make sure I add my camera to this cloud trial, so I'm going to make sure I add this new B4 camera. Alright, so now it says I can go in there and set up my settings. So activate it, and then you can see how long I have it set to record. So the 60 seconds, I could add a schedule in there if I only wanted to record during certain times of day, but for me I'm going to leave it 24/7 and the longest recording time frame that I can. Alright, so let's go in here and enable some stuff like the AI alert. I want it to tell me when there's specific types of motion. We'll see how well it does for that. I'm going to do others as well. I like to have everything and just see how it performs. That's how the camera pointed at me now. We'll just go ahead and hit play and just see what it does. Alright. You can see I got an alert right away that there's a motion. Turn down the sound so that doesn't interfere with us. Let me just see how it does if I zoom in here from my face. Just to give you an idea of what you can do with this. So that's a 16x zoom digital, and looks pretty good here. So that's the benefit of a 2K resolution. Let's see what the siren button does. So it says siren off. Let's do siren on. Alright, so not super loud, but you can certainly hear it. It's there, and you can have it set up by trigger by motion so that you can have it in a place where if you expect any motion at all, it would set off that alarm for 10 seconds. All right, now there's two-way talk. There's the little camera icon and the video icon that allows you to record locally to your device. So in this case, my tablet, it would record that motion or that video directly to my tablet for that live view. If we go back in here to the settings of the camera itself, you can see that it has good Wi-Fi signal, 100% battery, so it must have come 100% charged. I only had it plugged in for 10 minutes or something. You can invite family members or friends to join so they can watch the camera if desired. We can go in here to some advanced settings. Alright, so there's just image rotation, AC frequency, time zone. Yep, we're in the American Eastern time zone. That's what I like. Motion detect. This is where you can set up the amount of sensitivity. For me, I guess I'll leave it in the medium for now. But here you can now expand how far away you want it to go, as well as the sensitivity. So those are things that you can have it set up in. Then the trigger interval, the shorter you have that, the quicker it will re-trigger if something keeps moving within that field of view. So I'm going to leave these here on the medium settings and just see how well that does. Alright, so for the night vision, this camera does not have a spotlight, so you can choose to either have it with the infrared light kicking on, or you can have the infrared light off. So that's going to be really up to your own decisions there, as far as if you have enough light there at nighttime, you might want to leave it color, otherwise it'll be black and white for the infrared. Okay, so that looks like that's all the settings. So now what's really important is to see how well it performs, especially I'm interested in the AI detection and seeing how well it does. I'm going to compare it, I'm going to put it outside against some Eufy Cams, a Ring camera, so I'll be able to compare the performance and see how it does. Alright, so pretty quick and easy to put up. Let me just check the point of view and see if I want to adjust it at all. Alright, so there we go. We can see my driveway circle pretty well there, so looks pretty good. Alright, so I have had the camera out there for a few weeks now and I've done testing. Now if you saw, I put it up right beside another outdoor solar powered camera, and that one is a Eufy Cam. That one's a 4K resolution and it is much more expensive to purchase, but I did that so that I could get a relative difference of like the motion detection, how long it records, field of view, that kind of stuff. And you know, being frank, the Eufy Cam is better. For one, it's the higher resolution. It has a higher field of view, so I can see more of the driveway. But the Wansview one certainly works, and you can certainly see details, and it does pick up things like people versus cars and animals. So let me hop in the app and show you kind of what I've seen there. There are some good things and some bad things about it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to show is if I go down to my notifications. I left all these on there. I did not clear them specifically so I could show you what they look like. And so even if you hit the down arrow on them, it does not give you any information about the object that it saw. For example, if it was a person or a vehicle, and it doesn't give you a thumbnail. And I didn't see a setting for that. I could have missed it, but from what I can tell, you don't get a thumbnail view, and I think that is a nice thing to have. So that's one downside to the camera. Alright, so in the app here now, it just shows you the last screen that it saw before. So you saw I just actually clicked live view on it, and so it switched to this night view. But in the bottom left there, you can see the little Wi-Fi signal, which is low. I think it only has 3 indicators: low, medium, high. Sometimes it shows medium, sometimes it shows low. But you can see the battery is also fully charged. So I have not touched the battery.
the solar panel is able to fully keep it at 100% all the time, even in winter here in Michigan, and I've had a lot of cloudy days. So I'm very happy with the solar power. It's fully able to keep it connected. Now I can go back to the settings. I can also hit that little history clock button, rewind, to go in there. But this is where it gets a little bit confusing with all the different ways for you to actually look at the footage. So I have a SD card in there, and I also have the cloud service. So I'm doing both local and cloud support. And the biggest problem at the beginning was I was not getting all of the detections recorded and visible in the cloud. And so what it was on the alert tab, it would show up, and I would go in here, and this is where if you had more cameras, you could see more cameras listed here. But since this is just the Nader Tater camera, I go over here to more, and this is the alert window. So this is like little snippets of time, and I'm actually going to go back to yesterday because I know I was out there walking, and you can see it lists a person is detected. And if I go back into some other days here, you might see like a vehicle detected. So we had delivery, and so here at nighttime, this FedEx truck was not detected as a vehicle, but during the day, this was like a Sprinter delivery van, was detected when it was leaving as a vehicle, but when it came in, it was not. So it's sometimes hit or miss for vehicle. The person one seems to be a little bit more robust. But the problem here with the alert one, if I were to go in here and play it, it only plays a short snippet of the actual recording, and then it tells you at the end if you want to. And actually, this one's actually a short video, but still, the point is still valid. It'll tell you at the top there, more complete recordings is in the cloud. I don't know if you can read that there on the screen. But so that's in a separate segment of the app itself. This alert one is just like maybe a quick way to view some stuff, but it doesn't show you the whole activity. So I can either click that headline, or I can just go back here. You can see in the bottom I can click over to cloud. Alright, so now in the cloud storage tab, I can see that I have just the one camera. It tells me about my subscription plan, so I'm on the free trial. If I click the text for Nader Tater, it actually goes to the settings. But if I click the thumbnail with the little history icon, that's how I actually go in there and view the cloud footage itself. And what you'll see here is it loaded up, and it actually shows footage from today. But again, you only see, there's really only probably one main footage there. There's some more stuff earlier in the day, but it's not all of the footage, and that was my complaint. So if I go down the bottom and I switch over to the memory card, that's where I was able to see all of the footage and all the detections recorded. So that's an issue really on my side, and if you have good Wi-Fi signal, then that should not be a problem at all for the cloud storage. But I think they could do some updates personally, either in the firmware or in at least alerting the user that cloud upload is failing. So you can go into any of these and you can click on them, and you can download that little icon, download arrow, and that will download it. This is another a little bit of a weird thing. When you download that, you go back to the me icon, and then you go to local video, and this is where it actually downloads to. Now this is on the tablet itself, in my case, or a phone if you're looking at it from a phone, but it's a little bit of an obscure save location. So if you go into here to the file and then click save to local, that's going to go into your regular DCIM folder, which at least is kind of the default for Android operating system. Now I guess the one thing I didn't show was this recording here is actually 3 separate recordings that are all saved to one single file. So that was one nice thing about the timeline. When I go to click download, it actually lets you pick a timeline, of 5 minutes, 5 hours, whatever you want, and it takes any of the recordings in that time zone and saves them as one file right here that you can view. So I thought that was a really good feature and really neat, and I don't think I've seen that feature in most of my other cameras I've had. You had to download each file individually. So that was a neat feature that I did like about it. But that is basically the subset of all the options and features that you can have with this app, and it does work. It is a little bit lower resolution than the Eufy Cam beside it. The field of view is a little bit less, but the camera overall works, and it's really nice that it is completely wire free and the battery stays fully charged for me. So that's a nice feature of it, and for the price of it, it probably is pretty hard to beat. So it has some limitations, and really the main one is probably more kind of the app features and function and layout of it. But from the performance of the camera itself, it seems to work pretty well. So hope you liked this video, and if you have any questions or comments to put in, please put them in down below in the comment section of YouTube. And then you can always hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video overall and want to see more of it. So thank you, and take care.